Welcome to the Happy PharmD podcast. My name is Dr. Alex Barker. I'm the founder and CEO of the Happy PharmD, where we help pharmacists create inspiring careers and lives through coaching and helping people ultimately live their best life and really pursue ambitious goals and dreams. In this episode, I will be interviewed actually by our lead coach, Dr. Jaclyn Boyle, who is a assistant dean at a college of pharmacy and also an all-around awesome person and great coach. If you haven't heard from her and her story, I encourage you to check out a previous episode that will link somewhere in the notes, I assume. In this episode, I share a little bit about my vision, not just for pharmacy, but for our company, the Happy PharmD, and about the impact that we want to make on the industry. Not sharing too much, but my hope is that you get inspired, because in this, you'll learn a little bit about how we created this vision and ultimately how it can help you as well with your career. Because I'm a firm believer in that if you don't really have a very clear picture of what you want to be doing or what impact you want to make, what problems you want to solve, well, you don't make a whole lot of progress towards that. There's an old proverb that says something like, where there is no vision, the people perish. And I think that is so true for our lives and our careers. We don't live with intention. It's hard to get any kind of attention in the job market. That was a horrible pun. We'll keep it in the podcast. But with that, let's go ahead and go into the interview. Hi, Jackie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi. Excited to be here.
As always, a conversation between you and me is always lots of fun.
We will have so much fun.
So much fun that I'm sure more people will flock, because that's actually, I just recorded a podcast with Nicole Keenan, our client success advocate. And you're the whole reason why she's even a part of the company, because you introduced me to her. So, moral of the story, if you just want to get to know really cool people, just hang out with Jaclyn Boyle. That's actually like a great intro. If I could intro you at your next conference that you speak at, I would love to do that for you.
Oh gosh, that's too kind. I love connecting people. So it's fun when those connections lead to great things.
As this connection has. In fact, just before this podcast, you recorded a podcast with Timothy Ulbrich.
Yep.
Founder of Your Financial Pharmacist. And Tim is the one that connected you and me.
Yeah. So ultimately, everyone needs to know Tim Ulbrich.
We should have just all recorded in the same session and just had a giant fun podcast, the three of us. That would have been a lot of fun.
Next episode, let's put it on the docket.
It's on the docket. But today we're diving into really the journey that we're going through as a company, and what lessons we've learned from pharmacists that have gone through our program, and how we're making things even better and smoother for the future.
Yeah, Alex, there's so many great changes going on right now that I'm excited we're sharing some of this insider info with the world.
Secrets that are being revealed. These are things that we've worked on now for, we probably spent a good 6 months about all of these things, and new things keep coming up from our work in the past.
Absolutely.
Things that you've discovered, Nicole, myself, other team members. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. I think we're going to link this report in the show notes. But today we'll be talking about the Vivid Vision, HPD's vision for 2025, which, gosh, is literally right around the corner, seemingly 2 years ahead. But we've been talking about this vision for a couple of years now. And if you have a chance to check it out, I think it's a great read. I wanted to start, Alex, with our 2022 accomplishments. I know we're far into 2023, but there's so much great work. I don't want it to go overlooked. So I thought we could dive into some of the main takeaways from 2022. On average, we help pharmacists receive new positions only 1.6 months after the coaching program. That's amazing. And then we have pharmacists transitioning to over 30 different career paths. What do you think, Alex? You lead our company every day. You know, what do you think are the success factors? Like, what's in the secret sauce at HPD?
Well, I think if I could boil it down to two big things, I think it's the pharmacist commitment and then the coach program that we have. The reason why I start off with people's commitment is because once someone decides I'm done having a mediocre career and results, I'm tired of having just a job, there's no more excuses or backdoors for people. And they all of a sudden have like this newfound energy to really pursue what they want. I just spoke with someone who was brand new to the program, just signed on, hasn't talked with a coach yet. And I was talking with him about his goals and what he wanted to get from the program so that we could help him achieve all these things. And he shared that, immediately after he decided to work with a coach, he felt different. He said he felt more present at home with his wife and his kids. He felt better about his job pursuit. We haven't even done anything, but he made a commitment to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is where a lot of people struggle in the beginning when they haven't made that commitment to themselves that they're really going to pursue something that they really want.
Mm.
And obviously the magic sauce is the coach. People often don't understand what they're doing right or wrong when it comes to looking for a job that is truly satisfying. And I think describing a coach as a mirror is a good analogy. We don't often think about how powerful mirrors are, but it's a part of everyone's day. We look in the mirror before we go to work. We want to make sure, does my face still look right? Do I have any infections? Do I have any pimples that I need to pop? Do I need to shave? Do I need to clean this up? These are the things that I think when I look at a mirror. And based on whatever feedback I get from the mirror, I make adjustments. I shave, I brush my teeth, I pluck my monobrow that I've had, I get rid of any nose hairs that are too long. I take actions that I wouldn't have taken before had I not looked in the mirror. And our coaches are so good at showing people who they actually are and what matters most to them. Because, I mean, the number one thing we keep hearing from people is, I'm just a pharmacist. I'm just a hospital pharmacist. Or I'm just a retail pharmacist. I've just done this. I don't have experience. And people don't see what we see. We see people for who they really are, and we're able to show them as a mirror, here's what you've done with your career, and here's why it's valuable, and here's why companies care. And let's reframe your past experience to show these companies what you're truly capable of. Once people see that, they kind of awaken. They're like, oh, that's right. I've used this story so many times, Jackie, but this was a client of yours. And I think I've brought up this story to you before, and you go, oh my gosh, that was so many clients ago, and I don't even remember who it was. But you had helped a client get into academia. And when you were helping her with this very exercise of thinking about past experiences and how to reframe it for a job application, you were digging deep with her, and you discovered that she didn't even include this on her application, but she was a part of a business that was teaching students about healthcare and healthcare professions. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Maybe you do remember who it was. I don't know. But, she never even thought to include that on her resume. And that's the power of a really great coach, to unearth hidden potential and the things that we don't see in ourselves. It's why I have a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think about 2022, I think it's our great coaches, and I think it is our clients stepping into a full-on commitment.
Yeah, pharmacists don't often choose themselves. We go into this profession to give to other people, and that's a noble cause. But we often overlook ourselves. And to your point, Alex, I as you were describing that mirror metaphor, I thought of, isn't there a Disney movie where there's like a mirror, but it talks back to you? It's something like that. But
Mirror, mirror on the wall,
right,
who is
maybe not
fairest
the
above them
right.
all?
We're not the evil witch in this case, but to your
I
point,
was about to say.
I think the coach can see things that you can't see in yourself, and that's why every good coach has coaches in their history, because they will point out things to you that you cannot possibly ever see in yourself and help you realize your full potential. I love that. I'm looking ahead, Alex, to 2025. I know it's only a couple years away, but a couple of the things you outlined here are really exciting things coming out of Happy PharmD. By the end of that year, you hope that we will have served at least 300 pharmacists in our coaching program. I'm excited to get to that goal with you. And then we also will have at least 500 folks in our inner circle community. Can you share, Alex? We're making some changes to our coaching program. I think they're exciting ones. So what's changing in coaching, and what is this inner circle? I can't wait to hear about it.
And why am I not in it?
Right? How do I get in?
Yeah, so we learned that we've learned a lot over, I mean, we've been doing this since 2017. And we've learned a couple of things. We've learned that people get a lot of value from our program in about 3 months. That's how long we've typically worked with people in the past. But there's a group of people who don't always get interviews during that time frame in the program. And that's for any number of reasons, from maybe not deciding on a career path right away in the program. Some people want to take more time to really think this through. Some people have life emergencies come up. And so for whatever reason, once the 3-month mark ends for people, some people need a little bit more support. People have told us in the past, I wish I could have had more time with my coach because I have more questions. I have more things that are coming up, or I've talked with people and I don't know about this. And what about this? And through our work with Nicole, we've seen even more of a demand from people saying, I want more support. So, and also to get a personal, I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I went through about 1.5 years of depression because I lost my father. And I think that depression honestly was causing me to not be fully involved in every aspect of our program. That time in my life is over. I've recovered. I would say I'm really back to my full self. And now we've created, as of this recording, it's been live now for about 3 weeks, but we have a community. We have people interacting with each other. We have what's called a circle community, where we're doing weekly workshops, and we're doing monthly in-depth workshops, and we're doing weekly accountability, and we've started up masterminds, and we've started up groups where people are connecting with each other and sharing their goals and accountability. And so that to me is really exciting, because I'm seeing people get energized from interacting with each other and spurring each other on when they're feeling down or when they have questions. And that to me is exciting. I know we have just over 35 people, I think, in that community. And without sharing more, because I do feel like some of this is really raw, but I am seeing, I think, a brighter future where we're even inspiring and helping people start or grow their businesses. Lots of people have been reaching out to us lately about new opportunities. I would call them, some of them side hustles, and others are full-on businesses. And that gets me really excited, because if they're real businesses, then they will create jobs. And I think of one of our all-stars, Brittany Hoffman Eubanks, who has employed multiple pharmacists and hired people to do in medical writing. And to me, that's like, oh, that's awesome. These are people having remote jobs, doing what they love, and fitting in the rest of life. That to me is a vision worth pursuing. So without sharing too much of some of the things that are going on behind the scenes, that's a snippet of what's happening.
Ooh, sounds like we need to know more and find out more. I think we'll link some more information as well for our listeners. So Alex, I was going to ask this later, but since you brought it up, I got to bring it into the conversation now. Throughout this report, you mentioned a few different times that you're inspired to help grow more pharmacy entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship within pharmacists. And I know sometimes as a pharmacist, it might sound intimidating to think of yourself as an entrepreneur or having that entrepreneurial spirit. It's not something we dive deeply into in pharmacy school. Does a pharmacist have to own a business to be an entrepreneur, or what's your take on that piece of things? Some folks listening might say, I'm not going to open a pharmacy, Alex. What are you talking about? But tell me a little bit more. What's your vision for inspiring that entrepreneurial spirit, and what should we know about that topic?
I think it would be better for everyone if they actually considered their career like a business. You're the CEO, the CMO, the COO, the janitor, and the student. You're all wrapped up in one in your career. And I think if people approached their work in a more business sense, that they would be able to see that the world is full of opportunities, especially if you're engaged with work and you're curious and you follow your passion, your values, your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone needs to own an LLC. When I think of entrepreneurial endeavors, I think of finding opportunities and leaning into them. And that could be within the company that you're currently at.
Mm-hmm.
Companies are wanting people to step up and be more engaged and help. And I definitely get that when you're burned out, that's probably the last thing that you want to do or even consider. But I think that once you make that strong commitment to yourself that your career is worth investing in, your business of your job is worth your time, your effort, and energy to pursue, well, I think opportunities start happening. And today, now more than ever, it's easy to get started in terms of just thinking of yourself as a consultant, whether that's health consulting, long-term care consulting, patient consulting. Any of these things can get you started down the path of what I think most people would call just a side hustle, making a few hundred, if not thousands of dollars extra a month. Jackie, full transparency here. Your side hustle is being a coach. You're great at it and you love doing it and it's brought you money. And we'll plug in YFP here again. You're eventually going to be on their podcast sharing your debt-free story. You've treated your career, I think, as a prime example of, yes, you have a full-time job, but you also have an entrepreneurial spirit about you, and you have created a business for yourself in helping other people as a coach. I want to see more of that, because I think through entrepreneurism or just treating your career as a business, you take back the power that I feel so many people, they feel like they don't have it in the job market. They don't feel like they don't have those options available to them. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm thinking I teach this topic in our curriculum, and I often get the same question from students, like, I don't know if I want to own a business or a pharmacy. And I have them walk through this exercise where I say, just think about your workplace or your last IPI rotation. What could have been done better? And those things that they identify are those opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship to come about. But they're also likely an opportunity for them to leverage their strengths, because chances are when they're spotting these things they think they could make better, it's in alignment with what makes them excited about pharmacy, what strengths they naturally have. So I never connected these dots together before, Alex. So I'm glad we're talking about it now. I think it's definitely a way we can connect with our clients around this topic even further. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Okay, let's dive into the HPD mission. This page is full of great stuff, but I wanted to pull out this one line that kind of stuck out to me and hear what your take on it is. So in the middle of our mission, it says, we're the catalyst to empower pharmacists to radically transform their self-worth in the marketplace. What does this mean to you, Alex? Anything you want to build on from what you've already shared? I love this part of the mission.
This wasn't added until I think the very end, actually. And I think if I'm being really honest, in the past with the business, we focused a lot about talking about the problem. And that was things like low job satisfaction, burnout, imposter syndrome. And they're problems that are worth talking about. But it's a really negative approach, because I think at the core of our profession, and some science can back this up, I think we really struggle with low self-worth. We hear it in our conversations with pharmacists. I said it at the beginning, I'm just a retail pharmacist. If I hear that one more time, I can't threaten anything on a podcast, but it's so common. I'm just this. I've just done that. I only have a bachelor's of pharmacy. I only have a PharmD. I only have this certificate. And even if you look at most of our media in pharmacy, from associations to major media outlets, we're constantly talking about what we can do. This trial got published and pharmacists made a difference, and we lowered A1C, we lowered people's weight, we increased adherence, we lowered costs, we did this and this and this. And it kind of feels like we're the youngest child in the family, and we're constantly trying to prove to everyone else that we're valuable. And I think it's because deep down, we've got this rooted belief that is done through our education and through our training and in the workplace. We're just a pharmacist. We're not that valuable. We're not that great. We're not a doctor. We're never going to be them, because we are our own profession. And we had we had researcher Zubin Austin on the podcast a few months ago, where we talked about our professional identity. And I think that deep down, we don't really value what we do. And I would love to gain the influence in our profession to radically transform how we view ourselves, that we're worth a damn, and that we can make a difference. And it's not in question. I'll know that it's true when we no longer have people coming to us and saying, I'm just this. I only have a 1-year residency. I've only been a clinical pharmacist. I've only worked in this sector. When that stops, I'll know the mission's done. But there's 300,000 plus of us in the United States. So we've got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, we've definitely got some work to do. That just mindset and changing that inner dialogue takes lots of time, particularly for high achieving folks like pharmacists. This is a normal thing to be experiencing, but thankfully we have a lot of great tools and strategies to get around that inner sabotager person that seems to be plaguing our profession. Well, Alex, you answered my next question, so I'm going to move on to, I think, the last one. There are many coaching companies out there, not too many in pharmacy. But what do you think makes HPD different? We heard a little bit about the secret sauce earlier. What are the things that you think make us stand out in the industry based on all of your experience with us and working with us? And no, I didn't tell Alex anything he should say here. So this is on the spot, on demand. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Did I write it down in the document?
No. Oh, yes.
It's been a while
Yeah.
since I've revisited it, but I can tell you what I think where we're at now.
Mm-hmm.
What makes us different is that we just want to help people. Um, in fact, that drives a lot of our conversations. We meet once a
Mm-hmm.
month to talk about how to wow people and how to improve our processes and how do we make the coaching experience easier and better for people. We just had a 4-part meeting
Mm-hmm.
just looking at last year's success and thinking through what can we do differently to make everything better and easier. I think at the core of who we are is we, at the end of the day, just want to help people. We want to make sure that the people we help, their whatever their goals are, that they're clear, that they're attainable, and then we can help them get those goals accomplished. When I have a free moment during my day, I spend lately I've been in the community and I've been messaging people and I've been asking questions and providing insight and guidance to helping people go where they want to get faster. You know, I've been saying this actually recently, Jackie, that you know, it's free to talk with us, just like it's free to talk with a community pharmacist. Um, we pride ourselves that our career advisors who find out what people's goals are and whether or not coaching is right for them, that the conversation is about them. It's about their goals. It's about ensuring that what they want is in line with what we can help people do. You know, if you just want a slightly better job, one with some better hours and stuff, that is something that we could help you with, but it's not really compelling. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what we're really about. We want to help pharmacists go to bed at night well rested, knowing that they did their best, that they're there for their families, that they are living their best life. Yes, it's about getting a new and better job. Yes, it's about learning how to advocate for yourself, how to negotiate, how to have hard conversations with employers. But you know, if I die tomorrow, I don't know why I brought that up on a podcast, but if I die tomorrow and I have a few moments to reflect on my work in the industry of pharmacy, I can rest happy knowing that I've influenced hundreds of people to not just have a better job, but to know that at the end of the day, they're happier and they're more present with their families, that we've probably saved marriages because of what we've done, that we've saved some family relationships, and that I've gotten to work with some of the best people in the world. People who not only have helped me build this company up, but people that I consider really good friends, who've done more than I expected. And that's a good life. And I think that's all I can really ask for you, Jackie, and for everyone else on the team.
Well, I'm over here not crying.
I
A little bit. I agree, Alex. I think the work we do transcends beyond pharmacy, and that's what I love about the way we approach what we do. It's not just about that professional development. Yes, that's a core focus, but to your point, we take into account everything that's going on in someone's life and what their aspirations are, not only in their work, but more importantly, outside of their work, and what those priorities look like play a lot of important roles in how we decide to move along with the coaching journey. And we have many testimonials. If you ever need some inspiration out there, if you want to check out any of our clients' short testimonial videos, they'll move you. I mean, they will bring you to tears when you hear folks sharing how their lives have been transformed. So I agree 100%, Alex. I couldn't imagine that this is a type of work that you could do. Like when I came across you, finally, thank you, Tim Walbrick, again, big shout out. But I was shocked once I started working with you, like what coaching could be and how we really take it to the next level. So thank you for sharing in your own words all of the great work that our team does. All right. Well, I think
it was probably more verbose than what I wrote.
No, but the great thing is, Alex, you talked about everything that was in here.
Really? I did?
Yeah. So
you can tell that we're not always prepared for podcasts.
It's all good. I think it's better when it's, right off the press. So we're very excited.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Alex. Those were all my questions about the Vivid Vision report. I'm excited for everyone to get their hands on this. And certainly, I know if you're interested in chatting with us, we're more than excited to connect with you on many different platforms. Alex, anything else we should end with?
My only ask, I think, from you as a listener is that my hope is that you're behind us and that this makes sense. If I get really selfish about all this, what do I want? I want to make the impact on the industry and be able to claim it, that we've had enough with workplaces that don't treat us with respect. We've had enough of just doing mediocre jobs, and we want to really make pharmacy into what it can be. I want to be a catalyst for that. And when I think about the claim lately that there's a shortage of pharmacists, you've heard about this, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could say that I'm the one to cause that, because there's not a shortage of pharmacists. There's a shortage of treating pharmacists well. That's what there's a shortage of. And pharmacists don't want to take these jobs anymore that are not any good. But anyways, I guess that's just the final thing I would say. I hope it makes sense, and I hope that you can support us in this journey to make that happen, to transform pharmacy. That's it. Isn't Jackie such a great interview? She did a great job, and I really enjoyed sharing this. A lot of it was raw, and some of it not totally practiced. You may have noticed. But my hope is that by the end of 2025, we can make a real impact. I mentioned there's 300,000 pharmacists in the United States, 330, 350, somewhere in that vicinity. And to help only 300 of them kind of seems like small potatoes. But it's helping one person at a time that makes a difference. And ultimately, I believe, can change the profession, which is where I want to ultimately go. Thank you for listening. And I would love to hear your feedback. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about this vision. If it seems like maybe we're not aiming big enough. I don't know. I like being pushed, sometimes by totally random strangers on the internet. I don't know. Helps me keep in check and keeps me humble too. Thank you for listening and watching this episode of the Happy PharmD podcast. And until we see you in the next one, I hope you're having a great day.